All right, guys, welcome to Texas Gulf Surfer, episode number 38.
38 it is. We're going to do this, man. My name is Jeff DiNicola, your Texas Surf Ambassador. Welcome to the show. Man, this is a show all about surfing, and we got a killer guest on tonight, man. We're going L.A. County, West Coast, baby. We're breaking into some new areas. Before we get started,
West
man,
Side.
That's it, man. Before we get started, let me properly introduce my co-host. Man, he is more dangerous than kissing a rattlesnake. Give it up for Austin Campbell, king of Surfside.
Don't drop in on me.
Don't kiss a rattlesnake, boys and girls. Not safe.
Well, man, speaking of dropping in, it looks like, sounds like we had some good surf lately.
Dude, over the weekend here in Surfside, it was really good. Small, clean, glassy, great conditions, tons of happy people. The jetty parking lot was the epicenter of everything. A lot of socializing, a lot of high-fiving going on, and really a good time. I got some information from down in South Padre Island, and Gaines Burns, our guy down there, our correspondent. They're not getting the consistent kind of epic waves that we are. They had some stuff in the waist-high, kind of windy area, second parking lot stuff. We're getting the sweetness. We're getting the dreamy stuff up here. What's up with that, man?
Yeah, we've been having some good surf it's starting to. So, I don't know. The fall's been off to a pretty good start. The winter, I guess, because it seemed like October started picking up, November. It seems like the jet current, some of the currents are changing, it seems like, right? For a long time, we were in that. And that's probably why we didn't get any hurricanes, too, which is, we'll take that. Take no surf and some no hurricanes. But
yes,
it seems like we had a different pattern. We were like in that El Nada, and now it's kind of changed. So maybe it's just the way the currents and the weather patterns are changing. It seems like there hasn't really been any kind of like northeastern either, right? A little,
not really.
Anything.
No.
And so with that, for us isn't good, but for them, if you get that northeastern, that eastern wind, right, it comes and blows east for them, which is good surf. Right,
it can be, and they're not, again, like he reported, not having a good season.
And it hadn't been cold. It hadn't been cold here really yet. And
they said Gaines told me that it warmed up to 80 degrees down there. The water temperature. It has been phenomenally warm here for Thanksgiving. In my opinion,
it dropped down to 68 or something, and then back up into the 70s over here. Right, so it's back up to like probably 75 or something like that.
Totally barebackable all weekend, fun, but definitely a 4 sorely top.
Yeah, y'all had some good
for the size.
For the size. Yeah, it was clean. It looked like there was some clean surf out there. We were busy at the shop. We had our first annual, or I guess we're going to do more than annual. We had our first ever fall swap meet.
That turned
at the
out
surf
great,
station.
dude.
It did. It was a great
Bravo.
event, and I think we're planning is like, what my idea was fall, winter. I guess that's kind of the same thing in Texas, but fall, winter, spring. Right? Let's have 3 of them.
Yes.
In the summertime, let's not do any. It's just too hot. Everybody's
hot.
boards would be delamming and melting and melting wax. But I think we had a real good turnout. Ellis Pickett showed up with a bunch of boards. Dirt Surfer, Tom. A lot of people know Tom.
Showed up with a bunch of boards.
And there was a lot of people just kind of bringing their boards in. Said, "Hey man, I got a couple of boards." And we had some people buying, selling, swapping some boards.
Yeah, I sold one of my classic longboards that I bought from you years ago. And
you didn't even have to pull that thing off the golf cart.
No, Albert Shannon and friend of the show over there in Galveston bought my classic, longboard. Craig Noll, love it. It was good. It's going to good hands, and he's going to enjoy it. But let me tell you something. If you did not make that swap meet, next time Austin puts one on, come out. You know what was so fun about that? It was such a history lesson in surfboards and the evolution. People brought out old boards, longboards. Noah scored a killer Ben Ipa board.
Yeah. Well, there was just so many boards out there and so many people with knowledge of the surfboards, or and there was numerous. There was numerous. Board builders out there. It's like, so we had a lot of people talking about different things.
David
and
Cunningham was there.
Yeah, Cunningham, KP, myself. We were a lot talking about different boards. Everybody was, and then here's the other thing: is people were touring the factory.
Really good,
right?
Really good.
And,
seeing our options on making a board,
checking that out. That's and stuff. Cool. And it was a good time, man. If anything, even if nobody bought or sold a board, we had a good time.
Man, give us a quick prognosis on the upcoming surf.
Well, it looked like we're just going to have some surf all through the Thanksgiving holidays. Nothing special. It didn't look like, right?
Okay.
But from what I was seeing, it looked like we were just going to have something that at least was there. And so a lot of people were going to be, probably off work or something like that. So it's looking like starting, pretty much today. Starting this week, kind of coming through the weekend, we're gonna have surf. It's gonna build. In fact, today, not as we record, but today as y'all watch, we might have had some good surf.
Yeah, that's very likely. Very likely can happen. So anyway, I'm gonna keep my eyes open.
Good. So yeah, and that's that's Surfside, and it kind of looked like that, pretty much up and down the coast that they were going to be a little bit of surf coming. Galveston looked like they're going to have some stuff, and Padre, they're going to kind of have some surf. I think the only problem with them is that sometimes they get spoiled on how clean it is. Right now, it looks like they're going to have some choppy stuff.
It is true
coming at them. So, but that's the quick surf report.
That's encouraging.
What else? There's a contest is still on call for Padre, right?
No, it's off because of the Thanksgiving coming up. There's an open window in the first week in December. We'll keep you posted on that. I think we take advantage of the not having to wear the full length. We may be able to milk that out for 1 or 2 more weeks before some cold front hits. But
yeah, it's not going to be. It looked like right after Thanksgiving.
I'm encouraged, man. So. Moving on, man, this Woodrow Pack Landfair. He is the owner of the El Puerto Surf Shop. This is one cool cat, man. When we were researching him, Austin, man, we learned a lot, man. This guy's epic. He's got a book coming out in April.
Yeah.
Road journals. And Austin, how in the world did you get this guy on our show?
Well,
we're so stoked about it.
Pack's a cool dude, man. He actually,
man.
We met. I don't want to give too much away, but he stopped by the surf shop, the surf station, a couple years ago when he was doing his, just kind of cruising around on his. He has this cool like surf bus. It's an old school, school bus that's like he travels around in.
Very cool.
And he stopped in here and we started kind of talking. He told me he owned a surf shop. And, we kind of hit it off a little bit. And, man, I called him up the other day and thought it'd be a good time, good to get him on the show, talk about have surf shops and, different things of, he's got a surf shop there. I got one here, different things like that. And, he has a book actually coming out.
Yes.
This Road Journals where he went around. And
you got a pre-release copy.
We got one, and we've been reading it. And he went around from 2006, 2007 and drove around on his motorcycle and went through all 48 continental states.
Yes.
So we're going to get some pretty good stuff from him.
Yes,
and,
he's going to tell us about that.
We're going to learn a lot more about him, too. You know what I'm saying?
His surf shop is very unique. It's got a lot of stuff in it, which is cool. And he is really kind of eccentric and cool. But here's some side stuff, and I hope he'll talk about this. He went to University of Texas and played not on a baseball scholarship, on ROTC scholarship, walked onto the baseball team, and they won a national championship.
Yeah, he was on. So yeah, there's a lot of things we're gonna ask him about that and some other stuff. So
he has done a lot of cool stuff. I can't wait to talk to this.
Definitely a pretty good guy, man. We like I said, we just hit it off, and he was more than happy to come on the show and check it out. And like I said, we wanted to talk about his book and let everybody know about his book and his surf shop and stuff like that. So
yep, we're gonna sign off here. What you'll see next is the interview with Pack himself, and then we'll come back on and talk a little bit about it. And man, I hope you guys enjoy this interview. It's coming up.
All right, guys, here's
the
interview.
The music. Hey, Woodrow Pack Landfair, man, welcome to the show. Owner of the El Puerto Surf Shop, man, Manhattan Beach, California, bro. We're so stoked to have you, on the show. Austin and I, in researching you over the past week, learned a lot of cool stuff about you. You're a cool cat. You've done some really fun stuff, man. Traveled around on motorcycles. You're a published author. So we're going to hear a lot of fun and cool stuff from you. So, man, welcome to the show, my brother.
Oh, well, thanks. Appreciate y'all having me. It's good.
And
good
you're a
to be back there.
longhorn. You're a longhorn, man. Hook 'em horns, baby.
Hey, I won't hold that against y'all, man. I'm a Red Raider, so I'll be okay with y'all.
Hey, man. Well, when I'm this far from Texas, I'm just a Texan at heart. So it's good to be back. And I've been to Surfside before. That's how I met Austin. So it's good to be back there in spirit. I love the new paint job. I can see it in the background, by the way.
Yeah, man. We painted the building, like that, and then we just painted our background. So we were like, but it was I felt like, I don't know if we talked about it, but I was torn between like the building being old school looking, and then having that new paint job. But finally, I gave in to the new paint job.
Yeah, I understand. I've been painting my place too, and boy, that's like a fun, unique thing I think about surf shop owners. Like, not a lot of people just kind of put themselves in the business like that. It's just like, all right, I'm gonna repaint my place. Like, I don't know. I feel like you just drive drive around town, and 99% of businesses are just so boring and, depersonalized and yeah, so it's cool to know you, Austin, and that's I guess kind of how we met, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it was cool, man. That's what Jeff was asking me, kind of like, like he's like, man, how did you meet this guy? He's cool. He does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, man, and you got ties to Texas, and it's cool how y'all met. And the one thing that I really found interesting about your surf shop, man, and I lived in L.A. County for some time, so I'm familiar with El Puerto, but never met you there, is, man, your surf shop, you can go in there and get a cup of coffee. You got an ATM, you can get a surfboard, you get a wetsuit, man. You got everything there. I love that concept.
Yeah,
Tell me
we got
about
a full
that.
liquor store, and it's very much like a general store.
That's pretty cool, man. And I've been, myself here, at the surf station, we try to, I feel like it's hard to just survive only selling surf stuff all the time, right? Especially here in Texas. Like, we don't have like the surf quite like y'all do. Although, we got some pretty good surf. So we've kind of gone into some other things. We have some other products we sell and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, you got to kind of do whatever keeps you in business, and everybody needs a local surf shop. So you got to, you got to stay in business for them.
Man, we really want to get into your book that's coming out in April of 2026, man, Road Journals, and want to talk to you a little bit about that because you're a writer. And, man, this guy here was actually reading the book, and, man, he's as ADD as me. But he was in it. He's about 3/4 of the way through it. I'm like, all right, Austin, man, way to go.
I'm just, I've always been that way. It was funny because, like, man, I love to read, but I'm always like reading like like I have to read like something that's not like, I'm not a big fiction reader, right? But this is real, right? This isn't fiction.
Yeah.
This is like real, and it's like, I think one of the things you said is it wasn't even like written afterwards, right? It wasn't something that you like wrote afterwards. It's like the real journals of your time on the road, man. Tell us a little bit about like the book and like how it came about and everything.
Yeah, so I graduated from UT, as we said a little bit, and I had originally been there on an ROTC scholarship, so I thought I'd become an officer in the military, in the Navy. And I got hurt playing baseball there. I walked on the baseball team, was a member of the national championship team, so I got hurt and then couldn't continue with the Navy. So I ended up pawning my national championship ring. I'd been studying creative writing, so I had this idea that I'd write a book. And it seemed like the best way to go down that path would be to like kind of commit to some sort of adventure that I could write about, and I figured, I'd write kind of the book I ended up writing first was something I was working on while also keeping those journals. And so the book that you have there is a real journal that I kept during the trip, having pawned my ring, and just with the idea of like, I'd never ridden a motorcycle before, and I thought, well, that sounds like a fun way to get around, and like a good risk to take. So I spent my my money with the ring, and everything else I sold to buy the bike, and just start going around, and left Texas, went to Arkansas, and just kept going eastward, and yeah, that book is just like a compilation of week to week journals of what I was going through. Is also like what I saw, and just I feel like the book has a universal thing in that I talk about so many things that I like see, but also experience, just thoughts in my head that I feel like I explore from different angles, and then I guess that's why I feel like it's very true to me, and true to the people I met, and like people I met like you, like this. That's what I met you 15 years after that trip, but I feel like that's just an extension of the life I began living, the people I started to meet, showing up places just with have a common interest, and having like an openness to talk to people and get to know people, and eventually it led me to this shop here where we rent surfboards to people from all over the world, and I all day long just meeting people who show up here to go surfing, and half of them are traveling, and yeah, it's a real cool thing to share.
So your shop is like the closest. I remember when we were talking and stuff. So you're the closest shop to LAX. Is that true?
Yeah, we're 11 minutes by cab or Uber.
Right.
With traffic, it's like 17. Yeah.
So anybody, like any of our guys out there, man, if you watch us, if you're going to LA for any reason, if you're over there and you hit that
Yeah.
and you land in LAX, man,
Yeah.
go by and see Pac and the guys over there at
Absolutely.
Porto. I mean, because it's a cool shop, man. And like I said, it's cool to have like an authentic surf shop and somebody who's kind of like not just somebody who kind
Yeah.
of just bought into it for no reason.
You know what's
what I'm
cool
saying?
about your format is you can get off the plane at LAX, go right to El Puerto Surf Shop, get your wetsuit aboard, bar wax, and you're in the water pretty quickly. So you
Oh
just
yeah,
dial
yeah.
them in, man.
And you told me like y'all open like every day at like 6 or 7 and have free coffee or something like that. Or?
Yeah, we open at 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, every day for dawn patrol.
Yeah.
We had free coffee, and then when I took over the convenience store, the liquor store downstairs, and brought it all into one, we started selling the coffee because we're like a 7-Eleven.
Well, yeah, when you got
It's
some
a
night,
dollar fifty. It's a dollar
Yeah.
50, and if you get a bar of wax, you get a discount. So
Hey, that's a good deal, man.
Hey,
dawn
just
patrol.
real quick, I want to flip back to you. You soldier what is equivalent to a Super Bowl ring if you're a Longhorn fan. You buy a motorcycle that you daggum don't know how to ride, and you do all the lower 48. Man, that to me is the go for it spirit. Man, that's the surfer in you. That's ballsy in my personal opinion. I love that story.
Yeah, I mean, especially the part like we're telling some other people, and they're like, he didn't know how to ride a motorcycle, and I'm like, yeah, not really. It didn't sound like it, and so that's kind
Yeah,
of
I
the
had
cool
no
thing.
idea. Yeah, a guy had to show me when I bought it off Craigslist, and I've kept in touch with that guy. And he took me out and brought me. I met his kids, and they took me on a dirt bike course. And I think he really felt bad for me.
That's funny. I mean, and like I was kind of, like I said, I was reading a little bit of your book, and one of the things that kind of got me that I read, right, and it was kind of in the beginning, is you said like the person that I'd been all my life was just a fraction of the person I knew I could be, right? And like I just
Very well
reading that,
said,
I was
man.
like, man, that's kind
That's
of
very nice.
and I think like, do like all of us kind of feel like that sometimes, right? And then you went out and you just like did it, and then so you went out and did that trip, right? And you did that, and you met all these people, and you did all these things, and everybody should like read the book. It's a great book to read. I'm not a big like book reader, but it's cool to read because it's kind of like a real adventure.
It
But-
sounds like a spirit. It was a
yeah,
spiritual.
But like, how did
adventure
you
for
end up owning like a surf shop? Did you grew up in Virginia, or you grew up in Virginia? Did you surf there, and then you went over? I mean, how did you end up with a surf shop?
Yeah, so I started surfing. My parents got divorced when I was 4, and my dad moved from Virginia, where I lived, out to California. And so I started visiting him, and would be out like a week or two a year. And then I was 11, I learned to surf, and then that became like what I did when I'd come to see my dad in California. And I was the only person I knew back home that surfed because I was from inland area. And in California, uh, like I don't know if you experienced this, Austin, yourself. Like maybe a little bit in Texas because that not that many people surf. But like if you surf a little bit and nobody else surf, like you're a surfer. You know,
Right,
you're
right,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
surfer.
right.
And then if you go to another area and you're suddenly surrounded by people that live at the beach and they surf every day, and you're like, oh, I'm barely a surfer if I can. And that was me all year. I'd like, go back to Virginia for 50 weeks a year or something, and be the only person I knew that surfed, and be that, person. Probably my friends would be like, yeah, that guy's a surfer. and then I go out to California and be around like, whoa, like I'm barely surviving out here as a surfer, and like nobody would even talk to me, you know. Uh, so that was like a big part of my growing up was like I did that until I was into my 20s is like, and then I had the opportunity I was renting a board here because I mean I did that all the way until my like into my adulthood. I'd surf when I had the opportunity, which is probably most people realistically. Like you just surf when you can, and I didn't live at the beach, so then I rented from this shop that I now own, and because I had landed at LAX, and somebody told me to meet him in Surf Porto, and so I rented here, and it wasn't really set up for what the surfer I described, like me or I think our core customer, wasn't set up for people. It was more set up like it rented incidentally to people, but it was more set up to kind of like, I think, aspire to be more of like a local, like selling, core stuff to the people that did it. But really, it was existing more as like a shop for people from all over the world who needed surf gear to go out now. People of like all levels, not just local people that were like the dedicated lokes. It was
Right,
you know,
right.
How
and so
long have you owned that shop? How many
eight
years have you been in
years.
business?
Yeah,
8 years.
the shop's been here since '96, and I bought it in 2017. And my goal was to make it into something that will welcome people who knew how to surf at some level, but wouldn't otherwise feel maybe at home. Like when I met you at your shop, I had to ask you where to go, where there be possible conditions. I knew nothing, and that's the
Right.
way 99% of the people coming here are like I was coming to your shop. Like, where do I go? What do I do? I heard you could surf around here, you know?
Yeah, and that's what a local surf shop should be, is right, the place where people come. I mean, and that's the
Yeah,
difference between like a local surf shop and like a souvenir shop or
a
whatever, or
department store or something.
yeah, something like that, or
Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, you're right there. Y'all rent a lot of boards, right? I mean, that's what I remember you telling me. Y'all
yeah.
rent a lot of boards.
Yeah. We rent boards every day. Just
Yeah.
today, I was only here for part of the day, but we like I saw somebody from Germany, from here, from France. Just regular Sunday. We have people from all over. You
Well, let
know.
me ask you this question. You have a unique program, which I think is pretty cool. You have to explain to me the way it works, and that is you can try a board before you buy it. How does that work? I like that concept.
Oh man, I wish I could do more of it because right now I'm like just the realities of owning and funding and bootstrap my own business is like inventory wise. Uh,
Understood. Understood.
Man, so let me tell you, we have fiberglass boards here for rent. We have an entire quiver, and most of them are my boards, because why the hell not, right? It allows me to have like tons of boards, and I rent them out, and people love it, and usually they take pretty good care of them. And most of the time, we also have duplicates of those boards made under
Gotcha.
our brand by
Right,
local
right.
shaper Jose Barahona, and so people can demo a board, and if they like it, they can buy it new. Sometimes they can buy the rental one, but honestly, sometimes it's just too hard to do, or it's
Well, that's
been too hard to do financially.
I mean,
Understand.
that's not bad. I
Understood.
mean, that's kind of. I mean, there's no reason we couldn't, build a couple psycho models
Yeah.
and have that we use for the shop and then rent them
A
out to
test
people and
rider.
stuff.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, that's great. That's a great thing right there,
That's a
especially with
great
yeah,
having,
idea.
yeah.
an in-house factory. So, like, as far as like the surf shops, and I feel like just this is a question that I already know the answer to myself, but like, what really sets y'all apart from some of the other surf shops? I think
Great
every
question.
every
Yeah.
like local surf shop or every good surf shop has like certain things that really
Yeah,
like maybe set them apart
Yep.
from the other
yeah, yeah,
shops,
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, like,
Uh,
what's y'all's thing?
we're the only surf rental shop in Southern California that really like focuses on travelers, on people from here. Number one, but then number two, we focus solely on El Porto Beach. So if you want to go surfing right now at El Porto, whether you need to rent, buy, whether you need hardware, soft, whether you need soft goods or hardware, whether you need a board, a fin, wax, like we're the closest, fastest right here. We're open all the time, and we bring people in and out of that water. We do lessons, we do rentals. We're full service. We do repair. Uh, Sometimes for used boards or other things like that, is that like we'll send people to our neighbor shops for things that they're better at than we are. But we get business from all those shops all the time, sending people here for rentals, for early morning service, for quick repair, for stuff right by the beach. And that's the nice thing is like we're, the a lot of surf shops, as you know, are like very heavily retail based. Most of them nowadays, they're like most of the surf shops, it's like really like the Gap or
Right, yeah, it's
Hollister.
like walking into a shop that's at the mall or something like that, and
Yeah,
it's just
and
very
then
like,
they have a couple boards in the back that are,
yeah,
maybe a few fins or like 5 leashes or something, and 20 pairs of shorts and belts and everything
yeah.
else. You don't. We pretty much only have what you need to go surfing, and everybody here surfs for the most part and can do minor repairs on boards or can half our staff does lessons so they can book
That's
lessons
great
right
stuff, man.
away.
Yeah, it's
And
good. It's that's I mean it's cool, and it's real similar. I would say like of course you'll have a general store and some other stuff, but I
That's
would say like
awesome.
I think the spirit of our shops are real similar as that.
yeah,
And like
They are.
like when you came in and we
Yep.
met, I was like that
No doubt.
I think you were like yeah I own a surf shop too, and we kind of started talking and the thing is like we have a surfboard factory here, and like I never planned on owning a surf shop. I was just building surfboards, and that was kind of an accident. And then the surf factory turned into like a surf shop. And like I always joke, I'm like now I'm over here selling clothes and
yeah,
fancy
yeah.
shirts. But that's you have to have that stuff. But us too, rentals, surfboard rentals, and I think it's having people who are beginners, sending them to the right spot where they're not going to get in other people's way.
Yeah.
Is that something y'all try to like work on where you're like, you have somebody who's a real beginner, you want them to rent a board and go out and have fun, but you don't want to make
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
else mad or anything like that.
Well, that's one thing too. Similarities in our shops, real quick. I find like, see, you're in like a small town, right? Would you say
Yep.
so? Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
And
for sure.
for like my people who've been to El Porto, they've never been to Surfside. It's kind of a small town. It's I'd say it's near Galveston, but it's not in Galveston whatsoever. Uh,
Exactly.
so
Thank you. Thank
it's not like you guys
Two
have some
different
main
things.
street of. So I would say that we both kind of serve a neighborhood or like a small town in a way that we serve El Porto Beach and the El Porto neighborhood and the people who come to it. And I feel like in that same way, you guys serve the people who live in Surfside and the people who visit it, right? And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
people who come through. And so in that regard, like yeah, we're similar. Like we were kind of responsible for their surfing experience, where to send them out in general. We have a El Porto Beach has a big parking lot, uh, which is somewhat rare for LA beaches, and
Yes.
so it lends itself to like a lot of sort of novice traffic, or it's a place where people we can kind of send out renters for the most part, and people who surf there regularly, even if they're advanced, kind of like El Porto is just full of people on soft tops, you know.
Right. Right. Right.
Uh, where at least it lends itself that people don't need to. It's not somewhere the newbies would need to be worried about
Well,
paddling
let
down.
me ask you something,
Yeah.
Pac, because it brings up an interesting question. You're a good ambassador for the sport, and you're teaching a lot of people how to surf. But in my time living in LA, we would come down to El Puerto, and my buddy brings me down there, and it was like winter time, and I absolutely was terrified. That
Oh yeah,
place,
it's getting
dude,
there
it
now,
breaks
dude.
like
Yeah.
I was only making 1 out of 3 waves, but it was
Yeah.
so gnarly and tubey, and I'm like, that was not a beginner wave. It scared the
Not at
crap out
all,
of me.
especially in winter. Yeah, it's just closeout city here, and
Yeah.
No, but you can get a shoulder and get the barrel of your life.
yeah. If you time it right and you get lucky, but it's a lot of overhead and a lot of
Big
yeah, a
time.
lot of closeouts here, and especially the wintertime, it's pretty treacherous, or it can get pretty treacherous, you know. So, the wintertime,
It's
if you're
heavy.
new, you're pretty much in the whitewater out there, and
Okay.
and even for a lot of advanced or intermediate people, like it's just kind of like paddle out practice half the time, a
Heavy
lot of duck
wave.
Yeah. Yeah.
diving.
It's
We
a
we
heavy
understand
wave.
that. So like tell everybody like what's the Pac-Man riding? Like what's your go-to board? Do you have like a quiver you switch up, or you have like a go-to?
Yeah, I've been on a 7 foot just like fun board for most of the summer because it was kind of soft here, and I've got a 5 6 fish that I like to ride a
Nice.
lot.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say those are like my kind of go-tos now. Uh, yeah, I'd say like I just like to kind of get in the wave and maneuver a little bit. I don't do anything too special. I don't haven't done any aerials. I'm not out there doing spins or
You're
anything.
not you're not the guy that fills out my order form and writes and tells me that he doesn't air from time to time.
Oh Lord.
No, yeah.
He gets doesn't surf well written on the order form when he tells me that. No. But anyway, so yeah, man, that's man, you had, like I said, you had quite a trip across the country, and
It's
then you
crazy.
have
I'm reading
and then you have
some of
another book coming out after this one, right? That's about surfing.
Surf journals.
Yeah, surf journals, and that is like the reason I bought this shop was because we have so many people visiting from all over the world, and I wanted to go surf around the world. And I mean, I'd say that's the kind of surfer I am. I'm not, like I described, I'm not somebody that grew up being great at surfing. My other main sports were baseball and wrestling, and I did those sports, 90% of the time if I surf 10% of the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm fortunate to surf. I'm 43. I surf every day, and my goal is, like, I'm a novelty. I like surfing new places. I mean, I loved visiting. Like, I've surfed the Texas coast multiple times. I love visiting your town, and I'm sure I'll come back. And I
Oh
just
yeah,
love going
man.
around the
We got the
world.
Airbnb open for you upstairs anytime you
All
come back,
right,
man.
hell yeah! Is it really?
Oh yeah, man. We'll have you
Oh,
upstairs
dude.
up there for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So that reminds me. I was surfing in Ireland, and I went there just to go visit surf businesses and surf there. And you say
Wow.
that because that reminds me of so many of the places I'd stay in Ireland. There'd be like a little town, and it would have a surf shop on the ground floor, and then there'd be a little apartment upstairs or a thing, a hostel like out back, and the owner would live there, and it was everything. It was the surf shop and the country store and
Yeah.
everything kind of in between. And like, yeah, that's definitely the
Hey man,
vibe here.
we gotta do everything we can. We even got a little business next door. Our buddies run the Sun and Sea golf carts, and they rent golf carts out, man. So we
Oh
always tell
yeah,
everybody, man, you come here, man, you can get everything you need, and then just go hang out and do whatever you want.
100%, man.
So,
100%.
but
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
man,
live
that's
I
cool.
live here in this shop out the back, and
That's
I mean
cool.
that was my goal in buying this place. I wanted to go surf around the world and use this as like a launch pad, and the fact that we're so close to LAX, and so the surf journals is about those trips, and it's written in the same way of road journals. I just write these journals
Okay.
mainly for myself, like within a week or two of just kind of experiencing something. So I'm sure meeting you, it will be part of the Surf Journals book as well, because it's a compilation. I've been in 19 countries so far for this, and I've
Man,
surfed in
Wow.
33 states, and so that's all part of Surf Journals. And my objective is just to kind of do it as a means of meeting people and seeing the world. Uh, and when I go to different
So
countries, like
cool.
I intentionally don't research them at all, so that whoever takes me in, like that's all I know. Like I'm going to India in a few weeks, uh, and I'm going
Wow.
there for my cousin's wedding, but I'm also going there just to go surfing, and I mean, I'm just gonna go. Just like
yeah.
I'll fly there and learn everything when I get there, and bring as little as possible. And somebody will kind of take me in, and what I'll learn about the government or the local will all be what they tell me, right?
Right.
And I'll have no choice but presume that that's true. Like their
Great. That's the way
perspective
to
will be my
travel.
reality, and that's what I like about traveling. I mean, it's very human, and I think it transcends, uh, politics or anything
Well,
else.
yeah, I mean, especially if you're traveling
Beyond
like to
humanity.
different like surf
I
breaks, you
love
find that
that,
like
man.
people might be different, but all the surfers are kind of real similar.
Now,
So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you got me interested in both these daggone books. Now I can't wait to read this one and the other one coming out, the Surf Journals. That's man, that's my cup of tea. The way you do it is just kind of free spirited and just go and just mesh into whatever country you're going to. That's what I miss about surf travel.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it is cool how you just
Yeah.
take off and everything. And like I was reading, like I said, I'm gonna finish the book, and there's so many things in between, but it was kind of cool. Like I just kind of peeked around a little bit, and like you end it in Maine.
yeah,
And I mean,
yeah.
and I tell you what, man, I have an aunt that was from Maine, and like, that's just one of those spots where I always like really liked Maine, and just the fact that you were up I mean, just right there, it was kind of almost like perfect, right?
Oh well, yeah, man. I love Maine too. I've been up there to surf as well since then. In fact, I was at Old
Cool.
Orchard Beach there surfing. I don't know, probably in the same bus trip that I met you. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, yeah, man. And to your point that like surfing just connects people in some way. When I was at there, Old Orchard Beach, I was talking to this guy, and he had a sweatshirt on that I now have, and it says, "Is Dave's Big Wave" was the name of the business, and that's just what it said on his shirt. And I said, "Oh man, I love that." It was the day after Labor Day. I'm like, "Oh, I love that sweatshirt. You got any more for sale?" He's like, "Oh, we're sold out. Here, just take mine." He takes it off and he gives me a sweatshirt, and he wouldn't charge me for it, you know?
That's
And
sweet.
yeah, it's like that. That there's just people just understand. There's something a little deeper, and the ocean brings people together in a certain way, you know.
And man, this book, you talk about storms and crashes, near death experiences, long stretches of loneliness. See, this is all cool stuff,
It's
man.
a cool book, and like I said, just like I, some like I kept reading it because like in the very beginning there were interesting stuff. Like you just learned to ride the motorcycle, and like your very first night you like almost crash it. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't really crash it, and then you thought you got. I mean, it's just the beginning. You're like, oh man, what else is this guy gonna get into? So that was some of the cool stuff. Is just like right away it kind of brought you. You're like, man, so it's definitely an
Good read.
adventure. Well, one of the things before, I know we, can't stay on here forever. And I think when you come back to visit, we're going to have you in studio.
Yes.
Oh, I'd
You know
love
what I'm
to.
saying?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. Come back and we'll have you in studio. But I wanted to get your opinion on the ever controversial wave pool topic before we
Yeah.
go.
Yes, because I watched a video, just to preface what Austin wants to ask. We're both curious about this because I watched a lot of videos, and I agreed a lot of what you had to say about wave pools. And right now we're getting just a mushroom effect of these things coming all over the world and the
Yeah.
country and neighborhoods. And so give us your short take on that, because it was really the opposite side of the majority.
Well, I mean, no one talks about it though. So, yeah, I'm not against wave pools. I've surfed in wave pools. I've surfed in the one in Waco. I'm sure I'll surf there again. Other ones, have a good time. Uh, I think we'll look back on a certain era of human history, and I think we'll think of this as like the era of when we covered the ground in fake plastic grass, and we'll be like, what wasn't that? Didn't they have an environmental crisis? What were they doing? Are you kidding me? I think
Yep.
we'll look the same thing with wave pools. Like we just we're destroying beaches, and then we're building artificial ones that take up all this power and require all this electricity constantly all the time. And like my favorite parts of surfing, believe it or not, are usually the struggles of paddling out,
The
avoiding
challenges.
people coming at you, where you're like, "Whoa, what the hell was that?" Uh,
Yeah.
are we taking off over there? Like,
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, and there's people who are learning, to surf, and there's people that are good at surfing now learn to surf
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
in a
But
wave pool, yeah,
but I tell you what, and I mean, and I've paddled out in some places that had really good surf, and it was really easy to paddle out, like really huge surf, and you paddled out with dry hair.
yeah,
But man, like you come here to Surfside Beach on a big, shoulder high day, and you try to paddle out here,
Yeah, it's
and
tough.
you learn to surf in a wave pool.
yeah,
Yeah.
Man, you're gonna get hammered, and it's gonna be dangerous. There's currents and everything, so there is things that is gonna be still,
Yeah.
dangerous for some of those people. But
Yes.
I agree with you. I'm the same way. Yeah, I'm gonna surf
But
in
I
them again.
encourage people, go on your Instagram site and listen to that video, because you get a little deeper into it. And listen, I'm not against it. You kind of think described it as being a little soulless. I like a wave pool, but you miss a
yeah,
lot of the God's blessing of being in all of the elements that is the beach and the experience of surfing. You
yeah.
don't get that there.
Yeah, I think it's completely soulless, and yeah, I'm not gonna say it's not fun. I feel like it's skateboarding on water or something. I love the anarchy of surfing. I love that there's no real way to do it. I love
Right.
that, like, I mean, okay, you could go to like any lineup in the world and kind of just go out and do whatever you want. And sure, there might be a melee or somebody might get in your face, but there's not. You're not. Who's to say you're actually doing anything wrong? I mean, you go in a wave pool, you line up, and you go right there, and you go right now.
Right.
There's an aspect of it to it that's sort of. No matter how much it's a great wave and freestylish and everything else, is just the setup of it is like a carnival or amusement
Yeah,
park style. You go wait your turn, and
it's just not the same, no matter what. And we've been fortunate enough to have some like private sessions and like long hour private sessions at Waco, and I mean it's super fun. But I tell you what, like, man, it's like intense, right? Like especially you're doing the advanced wave, and we surf short longboards a lot, right? In Surfside, so we get to surf our shortboards there. So I'm going there
Yeah.
to like with the mindset of like, it's like a mission, and I'm going to surf these waves, and we wear ourselves out, and it's kind of the opposite reason I kind of surf. I kind of surf because like to have fun, and like I like being out in the water, and I like the challenge of every wave is different, and all these other things. And you go to there, and you're like every wave's the same. Now, don't get me wrong, it's super fun. I love riding my 6'1" or 6'3" that I never get to ride, and it's doing these things and it's training sessions, but in a way it's like super fun. In a way, it's not the same. It's not as fun. So yeah,
yeah, it's a different thing, and it's not. I'm definitely like I love it. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, same way. I'd go if somebody invited us tomorrow, we'd be driving over there.
Right.
We're available to go any day.
Yeah. And that's the thing too is when we're there, I tell everybody who comes to the shop, I'm like, man, you should try it, especially if they live in like North Texas. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, you should go there. And a lot of people don't know about it. And I'm telling, try the beginner wave, or try the intermediate wave. And so I feel like we've sent a lot of people there just because, they're far away from the beach.
Yeah, yeah. And my
So-
confession is every time I go to Austin, I now go to Waco and go surf the pool. It's true.
Right.
It's true. I've been since whenever it's opened. I don't know how many times I've been there. 3 times.
You can't, I mean, when you're that
Yeah,
close,
every time I go to
it is,
Austin.
like I said.
Yeah,
It is
what are you
great.
not gonna go surf? Like now it's an option. And my neighbor here, weird enough at El Porto, my neighboring directly to my left is a law office, and the attorney there surfs, and he's their lawyer. And so he flies there regularly. So yeah, props to all them. And one of our other guys, Duke Ipa, one of our shapers, he makes the boards for Waco.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
nothing but props. I've got a Waco pool sticker, a Waco surf sticker in our wall here.
Oh yeah,
and,
the plan is we're supposed to be heading over there for a show here eventually sometime. So we'll see.
Yes.
I bet. Yeah.
Pac, my man, I know you are truly a globe trotter. You're all over the place. I know you're busy. But what I would like to see happen, if we could get lucky, when that book comes out in April, maybe you could come to Texas and we could do like a little book signing, man, have all the people come in, hit a surf shop or two, man, put your
I'd
book
love to.
out there. That would be such a treat for us.
Yeah,
Texans,
we get some copies in here to sell. I think, man. I think people would be.
100%.
I think there's going to be people wanting to read some stuff after, and surfers are adventurous anyways. You know what I'm saying?
If nothing else,
about
I'll come down to go surfing and write it off as a book tour trip, and we'll have an event. And if that's what I'm here to do. I'm in this. I feel the same way about the shop. Like, I need to. Things need to be profitable in the same way that I need to breathe. Like I can't but it's not the point of my life either. And I'm in this probably like you are. I'm in this to do it, and I'm blessed to get to own a surf shop. I'm blessed to get to send people in and out of the water every day, and occasionally I'll even give somebody a lesson myself, and I oversee the staff here do that stuff, and it's just I'm so up to my eyeballs invested in this good and bad that like I really don't know. I mean, I can't say with any certainty how long I'll be doing this. If I'm lucky, I'll be doing this till I die. if I'm
Right.
unlucky, tomorrow morning I might wake up and be looking for a job at any given 7-Eleven.
Yep.
No, man.
That's the way it is. And I think, I think the good thing is like, some people, and I always feel like this is how I am, is I'm not really scared to take a risk because I know I can go do something else if I have
Right,
to. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah,
But we are lucky to do this, and people get to come in and like, man. I mean, how many times you seen somebody come in, rent a board, and come back, and then they're like stoked, and then next thing you know, they're buying boards, and they're like, so you turn people into surfers. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Listen, one of the things we really stand by here at Texas Gulf Surfer, and that is to buy local, man. It is very important to keep El Puerto Surf Shop in business, Surf Station in business. Anybody can go online and buy a surf product, but it is more genuine to go into a surf shop and see these guys and help them financially, because it's important to keep these family-owned mom and pop places open. It's just paramount to keep this country moving.
Oh yeah. I mean, how many employees do you have there?
12. Dude.
Oh,
Yeah, so look
No,
at
I
that.
know, dude. I've got like 7 pretty much here all very frequently, at least once, twice a week, and then like another 5 that float in and out. And
Heck
but
yeah.
I
Man.
had a couple in here today who've worked for me like 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're not working right now because they're off at school, and they were back for like the holiday break, and they
That's
just came
cool.
by to say what's up, and
Yeah.
to come, not even to see me a little bit, but really to like be at the shop, you
Right.
know,
No, it's
and
cool, man. And that's the thing
yeah,
is it's a good. It ends up. I always tell people, I'm like, man, sometimes everybody's here just hanging out, man, and it's
Yeah.
cool. It's the
It's our
spot,
clubhouse,
you know,
man.
and we're the only surf shop really in town, just kind of like y'all are the neighborhood surf shop. So it's kind of nice, you get it kind of everybody hanging out after a session or something like that. So
Well, my man Pack, you got 2 killer books coming out, man. I look forward to seeing both of them. And when you get to Texas, you got to come and do a more proper interview in the seat with us,
oh, I would
and
love
go
to, love
surfing
to.
with us. Do a book tour, man. We're all about that. And your buddy Matt McConaughey, we had him in the
Yeah,
back, but you trumped him. That's your pal back there,
yeah,
man.
sorry, we ran out of time again for you, Matt. Man, one of these days we'll get you on, man. But is there
Pack, thank you,
anything else
brother.
you want to tell anybody about the shop or something before we go?
Where they can
oh man,
find you.
I just look forward to being in Texas again and seeing you, Austin. I appreciate you having me on, and yeah, very cool. Yeah,
Right on, man.
when
Right
I
We're
get my
on.
very
act
grateful.
together,
Thank you, my brother.
We hope
yeah,
to
when I
see you
get my,
soon.
what's that?
We hope to see you soon, man. We
Oh,
appreciate you
thank
coming
you,
on for
man.
sure.
Yeah, I was
Thank you,
gonna say, well,
brother.
I get my podcast going here again. We'll have you on, man.
For
And,
sure,
Oh,
man. We'll definitely do it,
and
man.
next
We'll
time
definitely
you're in
do it,
LA,
man.
please stop by. Yeah,
Hey,
100%, man. We look forward to
we're gonna
that.
make a trip for sure.
I'll definitely come down in April when the book comes out. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
All
you, my
right, man.
brother.
Thanks a lot, man. We'll see you later, man.
See ya.